Did you see about Jericho making this offer to Hook? What do you think about Jericho's offer to give advice and mentorship and friendship and fellowship and all these other ships to Hook? You think Hook's ship is about to sail?
You know, you can look at it two ways. You could look at this as Jericho being selfless and trying to help elevate a young talent, or you could look at this as the AEW fans are completely sick of Chris Jericho. He needs someone new to latch onto to suck the life out of. And Hook is there. Fresh blood.
Fresh blood, fresh meat.
Do you want to see that? I mean, the crowd doesn't react to Jericho. The loss of Judas has exposed that greatly. He doesn't look good in the ring. Hook, I mean, he at least hasn't been jobbed out. I mean, he's still...
They like Hook naturally. He's got a natural... They like, regardless of the goofy booking, they like the kid.
Because there's two logical ends to this. One is they continue on with this great relationship where Jericho's his old coach and friend forever, Strangler Lewis the Luthez, or Jericho turns on him, and then we have that great feud, which nobody wants.
Well, and Hook has acknowledged, I know who you are, Chris, but just remember, I know who you are. Well, hopefully when Chris is sitting down in front of the fireplace with his new young protege there, he'll tell him support democracy. Don't ever let your wife go to any insurrections against the United States government, that type of character building advice that all young men should get from their father figure.
Do you agree with me, what I'm saying about...
Exactly. That's the whole fucking... this can't be a long-term friendship or tag team, because that won't go anywhere. So something's going to happen if they get that fight, unless they just cut it off, unless they just don't follow through with what they're prefacing here. But otherwise, Jericho's going to stab him in the back and then work a program with him where he can get some response while at the same time probably diminishing Hook's luster along the way.
Well, you know, Jim, Hook is from St. Mark's Place. It's very easy to get some piercings over there. Well, it used to be. Now it's like NYU.
The hell? Where is this going?
Well, maybe he can get some fancy earrings to distract from the Raycon earbuds that'll put in his ears so he doesn't have to listen to Chris Jericho talk, let alone sing.
Well, you know, so that what you're saying is that's why that when you took me around town there at all the hip, cool coffee shops and beatnik hangouts there in the Big Apple, that
in my time machine, yeah,
you know, they were playing the bongos and they had the Gilligan haircuts and
yes, we went to Cafe Wah.
And that one place where they had that big Venus flytrap in the corner, they were feeding it hamburger. That one, I'll tell you, but that's what it's all about that. And where were we going? Oh, I'll tell you where we're going. We're going to the Raycons, because the Raycons, ladies and gentlemen, that's why when you took me, Brian, to that neighborhood, all those people that we encountered walking down the sidewalk, they were either just shaking their heads to and fro or nodding their heads up and down, or some of them were even singing to themselves. And that's because they all had the Raycon wireless earbuds in, listening to the soundtrack that they had determined was best for their own life. Is that what you're saying to me right now?
Yeah, and sadly, the village has lost that spirit.
You mean, well, that's because they need more Raycons. I'm telling you right now, if anybody's in the vicinity of, what is that, Greenwich Village?
Greenwich Village.
Yes.
Or the East Village, specifically.
Greenwich Village, or over there in the east part of that village there. If you take a bunch of Raycons, tackle some motherfucker and start shoving these in his ears. He'll thank you for it.
No, do not do that. Do not do that.
Turn them on to some really fucking head-banging tunes where when you shove these things in their ears and they get up when they're chasing you, they're going to hear, they may have blood in their eye, but they'll have music and love in their ears.
Don't do this. Listen, it's not like the old days. It won't be a wino. Not that that's excusable. It'll be some NYU kid, some rich spoiled brat living in the village. Don't do that.
Well, because, hey, a rich spoiled brat probably won't be able to run that fast to catch you. So when you shove these things in his ears and you're running off and he realizes he's got that great music playing, and he's just going to stop with that dumbfounded look on his face, and he's going to start bopping his head up and down to the music because he's listening to the Raycon.
Hey, I'm joking about the death of the Village, which is a real thing, and the expansion of NYU, which is also a real thing. If Hook is from St. Mark's Place now, is he just hanging out with college kids all the time?
Well, that way he can cheat on his homework. But the Raycons, folks, back to them. And it's easier when you're holding somebody down with your left hand and to stick these things in their ears because they have the optimized gel tips. So they fit comfortably in your ear. So you don't really need to elbow it into the side of the guy's head. Just shove it in there with your thumb and it'll go pop and it'll stay there, whether you're, running away or whether you're chasing somebody or whether you're playing basketball or engaging in
playing basketball. There's a great suggestion. Well,
there you go. It even says some of that here. And or if you're having conjugal relations with your significant other, they won't fall out of your head. So maybe put some dirty audio on, and that way it'll help that situation.
Maybe you're someone who's trying to get to work and you want to distract yourself from the crime in the subway.
Well, don't distract yourself from that, because then you might be a victim of the crime in the subway. But that's why they've got the awareness mode. You can be listening to, for example, the police, and then pop the awareness mode button and know whether you need to call the police. See how that works?
That was very good. That was very good.
Yeah, thank you very much. And
a message also, in the bottle to you.
Yes, or where you might be getting hit over the head with a bottle. That's why they've got the earbud tap function. So you tap that earbud, it'll turn it off so you can duck that bottle.
That's not why they have that.
Well, these things happen on the subway. And 8 hours of playtime. You can ride from one end of the subway to the other. 32 hours of battery life. And right now, the best thing is save money. You may use it to bail yourself out after you've finished being arrested for tackling the guy in the East Greenwich Village to fucking stick these things in his ear.
Again, let's not tackle anyone, even if it is in a improperly pronounced area of New York.
But you're giving them free earbuds, so doesn't that make it even?
No, it doesn't make it even. Don't tackle anyone. Enjoy your earbuds and enjoy your day singing and dancing in the streets. Listening to Raycon.
That's the thing. Go out on the sidewalk and start singing and dancing and wearing a short skirt. And if you're a man, even better, because then people will look. And while they're looking, your accomplice can come up behind you.
No, again.
And just stick the goddamn earbuds in their ears without hitting them or tackling them.
No.
And then they won't know what. All of a sudden, their ears will be filled with the sound of music. My ears are suddenly filled with the sound of music. Courtesy of these Raycon wireless earbuds that somebody just stuck in my ears and ran off. What a lucky day.
There will be no ear insertion that is not done by yourself. And that's
called oral sex.
Well, that's not what that's called. That is exactly not what that's called. But what it is.
AURAL.
What it is called is Raycon. And what Raycon is something you can buy for yourself or as a gift for someone that you hand them and they place in their ear at their own time and place of choosing.
Place of choosing. And you can save money too now. If you go to buyraycon.com, that's BUYRAYCON, buyraycon.com/JCE, you're going to get 20% off your Raycon order and free shipping. So whether you order one, or actually, if you need to order two earbuds, because unless, well, like certain members of the feather bottom family, you only have one ear. But if you got two ears, order two of the earbuds, but you could order two sets, which would be 4, or 3 sets, which would be 6, and on and on. And if you want to get a bunch of sets in order to go out and stick them in people's ears to make the world a happier place, then you're going to get 20% off and free shipping on the whole shit and mess. buyraycon.com/JCE.
That's right. Leave people alone and enjoy music or podcasts or whatever it may be with Raycon. What's that promo code, Jim?
What do you mean to leave people alone? Now, see, that's why the world is such a lonely place.
Leave people... who are you to question the idea of leaving people alone?
Well, I leave them alone and they leave me alone.
See? Leave people alone.
But sometimes people need to be not left alone. They don't want to be alone in this cold, cruel world.
Well, you'll never be alone with the sound of whatever you're listening to on Raycon. What's that promo code, Jim?
Yes, /JCE, 20% off and free shipping. Just order one for each year.